Hello, I'm Pablo, and this is my summary video for Module 3, Rocket Elevators Project. In this module, I worked on customizing and improving the front end of our client website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Implemented new features to practice how to make interactive and user-friendly components. I will walk you through what I've accomplished and how I tackled each task. The first thing I focused on was aligning the design and typography with the Rocket Elevators brand in the CSS file. I updated the fonts across the entire site using Roboto's Lab for all the navigation and headlines elements, and a classic serif font for paragraphs. All the headlines are in the blue tone of the logo. To implement this across the website, let's see our CSS file, essentials. So I added this custom rule at the bottom of my essentials file, so the code is telling the browser in all sections with the ID, clients, news, portfolio, etc. Set the color heading to the blue, no matter if other styles try to override it. Then, to address the client requests that certain pieces of the text, like 1986 or special hours, to stand more clearly, I created this custom class called Highlight Red, which applies a bold red color and increases the font size slightly. I then use this class in specific areas of the index HTML to produce the changes. In CSS, I also made changes to certain backgrounds and other visual elements to align with the marketing plan using the corporate logo. I want to show you now a challenge that took me some time. Here in the portfolio section for the company highlights, the client mentioned that the image felt too squished together and that they prefer the spacing using the new section. At first, I tried using Bootstrap grid system and spacing utilities like G-4, but the code was not producing modifications in the car layout. That's how I learned that the version that I had installed of Bootstrap was an old version that didn't support the class G-4. So that's when I changed the strategy and implemented a custom CSS rule to force consistent spacing in my layout. And here in the layout CSS file, at the end, I created this. So it's forcing margins to the left and the right to space down evenly as expected by the client. Going back to the web, in the Contact Us section, I work on building a complete workflow for form submission using JavaScript and the provided API URL. Now we're going back to code and we're gonna dive behind the scenes on this file. First, I need to make sure that the entire HTML content is fully uploaded by using the DOM content load event. This ensures that all elements are available before running any JavaScript. Then I select the form element by its ID and add an event listener for the submit event. Inside the event handler, I use the prevent default to stop the browser behavior of reloading the page, allowing us to handle the form submission manually with JavaScript. To collect the input um, data, I created an object that stores the values of each form field using the get element by ID value. This object represents all the fields filled out by the user. The next step is sending the data to the backend using a post request the fetch method. And I'm going to show you how it works. By submitting the form, this modal pop-up appears. It's a confirmation displayed showing the submitted data as a feedback for the user. Finally, the form is reset using the form reset function to clear all input fields and prepare for the next submission. For the next assignment called Information on Service Agents, I created a top-rated agent section in the residential HTML file. Then I built a responsive table using Bootstrap classes, so it looks good on any size screen. The table header includes several columns: first name, last name, rating, fee, email, and region. Each of these columns can be sorted by clicking on them, either ascending or descending order. On the last column, I added a drop-down menu that lets users fill by region: north, south, west, east, and west. The table dynamically populated using JavaScript. And it only displays agents with a rating of 95 or higher, which are fetched from the API endpoint using the fetch method. If the selected region doesn't have any agents that meet the rating criteria, the table shows a friendly message that says, currently we don't have agents with that rated in the selected area. So overall, the table is interactive. Users can sort the data and filter by region thanks to the functions added to the JavaScript, and it always gives clear feedback depending on what's selected. Finally, I created a CSS file for the agents to customize the table style. Overall, this model helped me grow more comfortable with front-end development. I practice writing clean, structured JavaScript, working with Bootstrap components, and using CSS to reinforce visual consistency. Finally, all the pages have a glossary and descriptions for each section. Thank you for watching my summary model 3.